The names are so familiar, we refer to them like friends. Mr. Mac, Nasher, Fliggy, Torts, Bob, Z, and Johnny. And the moments they created, so ingrained among fans, they need almost no words to describe. 25 years of turning names into icons and freezing moments into memories.
Pekka. Off his skate, scores! Bjorkstrand! The defense and walk in. Nice move. Another nice move. Oh, he scores! Oh, what a goal! This doesn't get any better than this.
The Columbus Blue Jackets were born out of a dream that local businessman John H. McConnell refused to let die. A dream that McConnell wanted so badly to present as a gift to a community that had given him so much. But after a referendum to fund a downtown arena failed, in the spring of 1997, it took the foresight and drive of the city's business leaders to push the project forward.
John H. McConnell, Diamond McPherson, Nationwide were very focused on doing something special for Columbus. That is, getting a professional team, having an arena. And as soon as the referendum failed, they were immediately in touch and said, listen, we're going to find a way to do this even without the public support.
He had such a belief in this community, Mr. McConnell, and he wanted to make sure that Gary Bettman knew that come hell or high water, we were going to make this work.
It was my responsibility to put together the business plan, let's say, to do this. And how could we justify, to our board that this was something that we should do. And it was mostly community focused. It was something that we could do for the community.
First of all, it was the right thing to do. We got all excited about issue one.
And then the person made that fateful call to John H. McConnell and said, I'm standing here looking out my top floor window here at Nationwide, and I'm looking at that Penn site, and we've got to do this. We've got to figure out a way. Give us time, but I have to know that you're going to be with us and that you will still want to become the majority owner of the team. And Mr. McConnell said yes.
Mr. Mack stepped up. We Nationwide were going to build the building, and Mr. McConnell was going to own the team. Without him, I don't think we're here.
And Mr. McConnell loved the idea of the NHL and what the players go through to become an NHL player, to be able to play at that level. Because for him, it was no different than how he built his Worthington Industries.
On June 25th, 1997, the dream became a reality as the NHL awarded a franchise to the city of Columbus.
Enthusiasm is bubbling out of the corridors in our city. We have lots of good reasons for that. It's the first major league team to be located in Columbus.
But today, it's the NHL. International language coming with our own franchise team here. McConnell's name has been mentioned, and John would help me make it happen.
By November of 1997, the team had been named the Blue Jackets, paying homage to Ohio's role in the Civil War. But this was about more than a hockey team. As part of the McConnell's vision to give back to the community, the Blue Jackets Foundation was created with education, health and safety, the fight against pediatric cancer, and growing the game of hockey as its foundational pillars.
It's not just enough to bring a team here. We also want to make sure that we are touching all parts of the community. So hence the foundation was born, really even born before the team hit the ice. That was his drive and that was his expectation.
Part of that process is understanding how you give back, how you build relationships, and how you help each other in the community. So that was a central role, a piece of that, of creating the foundation. And we've given millions of dollars to the foundation over the years with our partners to help better the community. And with the staff and the team and the foundation board, it's been an incredible experience. And in fact, it's been 25 years of plus doing that part of it is incredible to me.
The organization's business side and hockey side were both in their infancy. The man fostering development of both was Doug McLean, who was hired as the team's first president and general manager.
There's a pencil and a notepad on the desk, and I'm thinking, what have I got myself into here? And a week or so later, I said to Mr. Mack, we need a president, to look after the business side of things. We got a lot going on. He said, oh, that's okay. You can be the president too. So it was sort of a shotgun start to the job. It was just so many things that went on, from having to sell 12,000 season tickets to get approval, having to get a TV deal done, having to get a radio deal done, getting the building built.
Just think about it, starting a franchise from scratch. And there was no bigger promoter and to sell the game in Columbus and Central Ohio than Doug McClain. He could sell ice to Eskimos, and when he became the general manager of this team, he started to do just that.
I'll never forget Mr. McConnell driving me up to where Nationwide was going to be, and it was like a gravel area there, and he said, this is where the arena's going to be. This is going to become the arena district. And I'm saying, yeah, okay, good. Well, let's see how that works. And all of a sudden, it's opening night, and it was an amazing story from start to finish.
It is now official, ladies and gentlemen. The doors to Columbus's new Nationwide arena are open.
Indeed, the arena's finish line wound up mighty close to that inaugural season starting line.
We took possession of the arena 9 days before our first event, so it really was laying bricks and making ice until the day we opened the door.
The day of the first event in the building, Tim McGraw Faith Hill concert, I remember walking along the concourse and there were still cranes inside the building, work still being done, and it needed to be cleaned. And I'm thinking, the building's opening in like 6 hours or 7 hours. Like, I don't know how they're going to get this done, but they obviously did.
Doug McClain and first-year head coach Dave King spent their summer building as well. By fall, the inaugural edition of the Blue Jackets was ready to take the ice.
We scoured the world, and we put a really competitive team the first year. It was a team that the city was proud of. They played hard. We were led by, Kevin Dineen and Lyle Odeline and Ron Tugnut. And, we had some great character guys, and that's how we tried to build a team. And guys that are still fan favorites.
We didn't know what to expect. We were a bunch of guys staying in a hotel. We'd all played on different teams. We come together, and it's kind of like, okay, this is the team. We got thrown together. Guys are looking for houses. We're trying to get organized. We got this fabulous new facility. We didn't know what to expect. All of a sudden, you walk into the rink day one, and it is bonkers in here.
People are showing up, what's this going to be like? I said, it's going to be fantastic. You have no idea how well we're going to get spoiled. These people are so excited to have us here.
Everybody took a big leadership role in that team, which you don't usually see that for an expansion team. It was a big thrill, it was a big honor for me, and to be the first captain of the Blue Jackets. I'll remember that for the rest of my life.
But Odie was a consummate team guy, big-time competitor, taught the guys a lot of things. He played in Montreal, and when you play in Montreal, you learn professionalism. And Odie had that in spades, so him and Kevin Dineen, guys like that, their leadership was really important to our development.
A packed Nationwide arena was buzzing as the Jackets hosted their first ever NHL game on October 7, 2000 against the Chicago Blackhawks. It was a night no one wanted to miss.
Again, trying to pass it down low, does. Gardner shoots, he scores! Liftoff in Ohio. Bruce Gardner has just scored the first ever goal for the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Oh yeah, it was loud. Lots of fans, lots of excitement, and lots of excited people,
Mironov has the puck, loses it in front, right shoots, rebound, it's loose, another shot, they score! David!
We're really thankful the hockey came to Columbus. I could feel that, we all could feel that, so it was great. I think Columbus is a great hockey city.
Sanderson catching up to it, crunch to the end boards. Hines in there sniffing around, has it. Hines waits, shoots, Tebow, save, rebound, they score! Stevie Hines, 3-0, Blue Jackets in this.
So a huge day, huge night, and I was just thankful to be part of it.
That first year, the Jackets won 28 games. Jeff Sanderson scored 30 goals, and goaltender Ron Tugnut tied a 33-year-old NHL record for wins by an expansion goaltender with 22. Columbus was on the NHL map, and Columbus hockey fans embraced their new team by filling Nationwide Arena with regularity.
Really, that team, there was a love affair with that team, and fans who are old enough to remember it will still point to that team as one of their favorites. And I think that team played a really big part, honestly, in creating a love affair with the city. I do. The one that always stood out to me is they would cheer icing. Like, they would be in their end for like 3 minutes with some unbelievably skilled team, and they're just basically hanging on. And someone would get the ice and chuck it down the ice, and the crowd would roar. Like, good job, boys.
In the summer of 2002, General Manager Doug McClain orchestrated a deal that would bring Columbus its first true superstar. A trade with the Florida Panthers gave the Jackets the #1 overall draft pick in the NHL draft.
With the #1 selection in the draft, we select from the London Knights, Rick Nash.
There it is, Rick Nash, first overall in 2002.
I remember Gino Retta from TSN came running up the stands, and he tapped me. It was about 5 minutes before the draft was about to start, and he said Columbus just flipped picks with Florida, and they're drafted #1. And right then and there, I kind of knew I was going to be the first overall pick.
It must be said, an incredible trade. To move up from #3 to #1 in the draft, ultimately for no cost. That's insane. Doug's best work. Doug McClain's best work.
It didn't take long for that work to pay dividends.
We've got now a loose puck, Seidman rebounded from the score! Rick Nash cashes in!
Welcome to the National Hockey League, Rick Nash.
Nash scored in his NHL debut in the Jackets' 2002 season opener against the Chicago Blackhawks.
He was the #1 pick. He was the guy that was going to save the franchise. And, you know, every single night, 6'4" forward, big winger, would make an impact on the game.
Nash shared the NHL goal-scoring title and the Rocket Richard Trophy in his second year, becoming the youngest player ever to lead the league in goals.
You know, when I'm on the bench and you see Rick go down the wing with that long, it's a patent move. He's got the stick. It seems like it's 8 feet away from him.
Nash, 2 goals in the night. Will this be 3?
Yep.
And it is a hat-trick goal for Rick Nash, and the Jackets now lead 8-2.
And the next thing it's under the defenseman's stick, and the next thing is in the back of the net, and he's cheering in the corner. And the fans at Nationwide are elated. We're on the bench too, saying, "Whoa, did you see that? Look at this kid go."
He was our star, and he took that responsibility seriously, understood part of that was growing the game because we were still a young market.
I think he thought, as a lot of guys in this town do, that people didn't recognize them. Oh, people recognized Rick Nash. They had a sense that they didn't want to bother him. And I would be sitting here, he'd be sitting there, we'd be talking, and people would walk right past. And when they got a foot behind Rick Nash, they would turn and stop and go. But they would never present that to him. He was a star.
In Nash's 4th season, the Blue Jackets hired highly regarded Stanley Cup winning coach Ken Hitchcock.
Rick in those early years was known as, I wouldn't say a one-dimensional player, but offense was the key. And what did Ken Hitchcock do? He made him an all-round player. As they say in the National Hockey League, a 200-foot player. And boy, did Nash excel when that day came.
I bought into Hitch. I bought into his process. And I like to think of myself over my career being a pretty good 200-foot player, being a good penalty killer, being a forward that can play in all situations. And that was a huge part of my time with Hitch.
I put him in situations where it was really gritty and he really had to check to be successful, and he bought in right away.
Broken up by Nash. Nash walks in. Nash from the left wing. Mason fights it off. Good hustle there by the Jackets captain.
So there wasn't much conversation with Rick. It was more how I played him and what I expected. When Rick committed to 200 feet of ice, it forced the rest of the players to buy in.
Under Hitchcock's tutelage, Nash's star continued to rise. He scored the most incredible goal in team history against the Coyotes in January of 2008.
It's probably the exclamation point of my career, I would say. It's what kind of everyone kind of remembers me by is that goal.
Pekka, outlet pass for Rick Nash. Nash now tries to split the defense and walk in. Nice move, another nice move. He scores! What a goal! It doesn't get any better than this. Rick Nash, how do you do?
And it was just not a simple move, but it was just a basic inside-out move where you fake inside, then go back outside and try to get the D's legs crossed. And I actually did it 2 times in a row, which I was amazed that they both bid on it. And, you know, the next part was a lot of luck because I was going backhand to my forehand across the crease to try to slide it in on the goalie. And the goalie actually made the perfect play. He chopped me with his backhand poke check, and that it ended up being the game-winning goal.
You gotta be kidding me! Oh my goodness! That is the goal of the year in the National Hockey League.
In April of 2008, Blue Jackets founder John H. McConnell passed away. The city grieved for a man who had given so much to the community. Rick Nash was asked to speak at his memorial service.
Funny thing was, he showed up for one game. I think I was 19, and he came down to the dressing room, and he came right over to my stall, and he grew a little goatee like I had back then. And he goes, "Since you had one, I'm gonna have one." And he kept rubbing the little goatee. So it was just little things like that with Mr. Mac that made our bond so strong.
This evening, we celebrate a most uncommon man and his legacy.
When Mr. McConnell passed in 2008, Rick Nash organized the players. The players have given to a scholarship in John H.'s honor, which we give every year to deserving high school students who really are exemplifying the golden rule, which was so important to Mr. McConnell.
He was a genuine, caring owner. You know, you could see it in him. And you wanted to win for him, you know? It was so disappointing when we wouldn't get the win and he wasn't in the locker room, or you'd see him in the hallway and he'd have a positive remark. He set the tone for the franchise, and I think for the players that got to play here and meet him and understand what we were a part of, it kind of grew us in a way to make sure that we carried ourselves properly and were good members of this community.
Sometimes I can walk in here and I can kind of look up at the suite, see it there.
The very next season was one that would have made Mr. McConnell proud. Nash set a franchise record with 79 points, none bigger than his goal in Chicago, which clinched the Blue Jackets' first ever berth in the NHL playoffs.
Without a swing, gloves it, but not out. Now, Jackets in front, shoots, scores! Rick Nash, the captain! Shot, beats hockey, big time! And it's a 3-3 hockey game. The Jackets keep it in up high.
It was a quick backhand tip, and it just kind of found its way in the net in front of a packed United Center in Chicago. And, you know, I always remember that the year before Mr. Mac passed, you know, I always remember after that goal, after going in, just looking up to the sky and knowing that he would be watching and that we finally got that playoff berth for him. That was probably the goal that means the most to me over my career.
That first playoff series matched the Jackets against the Detroit Red Wings. It was the first opportunity for Blue Jackets fans to experience the thrill of playoff hockey. Though the Jackets were swept in the series, Game 4 at Nationwide Arena was electric and raised the expectations of the fan base. 3 seasons later, the Jackets traded Rick Nash to New York, but he clearly left his mark on the franchise and his name on virtually every line of the record book. Games played, goals, and points. It's why in 2022, the team honored Nash by raising his iconic number 61 to the rafters, the Jackets' first ever retired number.
I am so humbled and so honored to lay 61 to rest, right where it belongs beside Mr. Mac. Thank you.
He changed hockey in Columbus, there's no doubt about it. He was the first of the all-stars that this organization has seen. You know, the person, very humble, quiet. Yeah, he's a special human being, and nobody else deserves to have their number up there more than him.
The trade of Rick Nash helped the franchise usher in its next era and a new group of leaders who would lead the team to its next postseason berth. Brandon Dubinsky and Artem Anisimov were part of the Nash trade.
Long lead pass to the offensive blue line. Look at Anisimov move in. Anisimov scores! What a great individual effort by Anisimov!
They joined forces with players such as Sergei Bobrovsky, who came via trade from Philadelphia, Nick Foligno, who came in a trade from Ottawa, and homegrown players such as Cam Atkinson and David Savard to help the franchise move into a phase of sustained growth. In 2013, the Jackets narrowly missed the playoffs. In 2014, led by Ryan Johansson and Nick Foligno, they won a franchise record 43 games and met Pittsburgh in the first round of the playoffs. In Game 2, in Pittsburgh, Matt Calvert's goal in the second overtime gave Columbus its first ever playoff win.
Chips it off the boards. Dubinsky fights it off. Dubinsky sends it in front. Rebound. He shoots and scores. Jackets win in overtime. They tied the series at 1. Their first ever overtime victory in the Stanley Cup playoffs.
I remember the shift. I go down, I cut back on the hash marks, I cycle it down to Doobie. Doobie uses his big butt out there, goes around the net, throws out the Cam, rebound comes right to me. And I missed the first opportunity, and then I put the second one upstairs on Fleury, and then it goes into the celebration.
And I remember, obviously, celebration and everyone chasing him down. I think it was me, Doobie, Wiz. I tackled him, and there were some things that were said in the pile that probably shouldn't be on air, but he was like, just kiss me. I'm like, I'm not gonna kiss you. There was a lot of emotion, and we knew right then and there that was obviously a huge milestone for this organization.
And that's what the cool part about NHL playoffs is or any sport is, like, you have a chance to be a hero. And when you get that opportunity and, you are the hero of that one game, it's a pretty special feeling, and one that certainly will never leave my thoughts.
As memorable as that goal was, Game 4 of that series back at Nationwide Arena featured 2 goals Jackets fans will never forget. First was a game-tying goal by Brandon Dubinsky.
Seconds remaining. Up the far wall. Blue Jackets send it in. And it's Fleury behind the net now. Loses control. Back in it. Centering attempt. Shot. Score! Brandon Dubinsky with 22 and a half seconds left. And the Blue Jackets have tied this game at 3.
I've never heard the building as loud as I heard it during that moment. The adrenaline pumping, I obviously turned, skated full speed, celebrated. We were excited, but it was a special moment. I will say I have that picture hanging in my house of me celebrating. The thing that stands out about it isn't so much about me or my teammates and how excited we were, but you look at the fans behind it on the glass. It looks like there's a couple people like crying, screaming. There's a couple that are kissing. It was just like this emotion that was incredible. And
Fleury had a bounce over a stick, thrown in front of the net.
Quite honestly, it still gives me a little bit of goosebumps talking about it today.
The goal forced overtime, and in the dressing room in the intermission, Nick Foligno was confident.
And I remember just feeling a calmness before that. Like, I wasn't nervous, and not that I don't really ever feel that way. I love those moments, and I think I said something stupid too. Like, I think I stood up. I was like, you guys mind if I get the next one? I'm gonna get the next one.
Sure enough, just 2 minutes and 49 seconds into overtime, Foligno got his chance.
Blocked by Umberger, and the puck comes right onto the stick of Foligno, who finds Wisniewski, and he can't jam it ahead. Umberger will get it back, throw it off the backhand. Foligno with a shot. He scores! And I got 2 words for you. Series tied!
I'll never forget, because I was like, I got a pretty big gap. I might just go in and try to shoot one through him and get it on net and then make go of a change.
Here's Nick Foligno. Fires, scores! Jackets win in overtime. They've squared the series at 2.
I actually saw it dip, and I think that's what fooled Fleury. And sure enough, man, the best part is I got a torn MCL, and I go down and do like a soccer slide on the ice, but I was so excited, I didn't even care. The crowd, I'll never forget how loud it was. It was something that will stay with me the rest of my life.
Foligno was named captain of the Blue Jackets in May of 2015. In October, he and his teammates got a new coach.
We felt we needed a change. Going through the transformation of the club, we didn't know
who the leaders were, who was going to be captain, all that stuff. Well, if you bring Torts in, he's going to work on that. Plus, he's a good coach. He really is.
It's a lot of expectations on a young team, but that's part of the game, and that's part of growing up to be a pro.
I think they had a lot of players on this team that the feeling from upstairs was they needed a boot in the back end. And, I mean, who are you going to call if that's what you want?
John Tortorella brought high expectations and standards, challenging star players and even team captain Nick Foligno to be better.
I remember talking to him after my first season there in the summer and saying, I just don't think you're a captain. I just don't think you can do the things a captain needs to do. And it was a tough conversation. And we've had some beauties, him and I, along the way.
And so we had a really honest conversation at the end of the year. Him saying, I don't think you can do it, and me saying, to hell with you. I'm going to do it. I'm going to show you. And it was best thing for us both, because I think we both understood now where we come from. And then our relationship just went like this. I think he was teaching me that it's ever evolving. You're never just good enough. You're always trying to find ways to get better. That's the Torts way.
In his second season, Tortorella guided the Blue Jackets to unprecedented levels of success.
Power play goal, Cam Atkinson.
On November 4th, the team scored a franchise-high 10 goals in the 10-0 win over the Montreal Canadiens.
I loved the cannon, and I felt bad for her after a while because I was like, oh my God, don't shoot it off again. But it was just one of those games that everything went right, and we were just clicking in all cylinders.
Toughness was non-negotiable under Tortorella. Matt Calvert personified toughness in a game against the New York Rangers later that season. He took a deflected slap shot right to the face and had to leave the ice for repairs. 36 stitches later, he had a decision to make.
And I remember Mike Boat saying to me, he's like, you really want to go back out there? Like, he obviously made sure, I passed every test and I felt good. And I said, yep. And he's like, all right, man. The only way we could wrap it was with this insane white wrap around my head that would actually feel good in my helmet.
And he came back out with I think one eye was shut. Looked like he literally went to war.
And then, on the penalty kill in the third period,
we go out and it looks crazy. I've seen it on video, and obviously end up scoring the winning goal, and it was amazing.
I hope that is written down forever in Blue Jacket lore, because that was one of the craziest moments I've ever seen.
On November 29th, the Blue Jackets beat the Tampa Bay Lightning 2-1. They wouldn't lose again in 2016. They won 16 games in a row, including a 4-2 win over the Minnesota Wild on New Year's Eve. The streak ended one game short of an NHL record.
Every night, somebody on our team was stepping up. We had some games where we were down, 2-3 goals heading into the third period, but it was, when you're on a roll like that, you can win every game.
Here, Hartnell scores, hat-trick for Scotty Hartnell, and here come the Hats!
It's tough to win hockey games, and it's tough to be at your best every single night because you're playing so many games. And so, you need a little bit of puck luck along the way, and I think during that stretch, we were certainly playing great hockey, but we were also getting a little, some of the bounces along the way.
Even when we played bad, we were finding ways to win, or, Bob was stealing us games. Someone would step up and be the hero, and it's something that probably won't ever happen again in my career, and just glad to be a part of it.
That season, the Jackets set records for wins and points and finished with the fourth best record in the NHL. They met Pittsburgh in the playoffs, deepening a developing rivalry that began in 2014. That season ended with plenty of hardware, as Tortorella won the Jack Adams Award for the league's best coach.
We got some of the greatest players in the world in this sport, and I am very fortunate to coach the group of guys that we have in this club here with Columbus, so thank you very much.
Sergei Bobrovsky won his second Vezina Trophy as the year's best goaltender, and Nick Foligno was honored with 2 awards for his leadership and sportsmanship. The Blue Jackets wanted to keep the momentum of that 104-point season going, So in June of 2017, they made a trade for Artemi Panarin, the one-time Rookie of the Year in the NHL.
A couple of blockbuster deals on day one of the draft. Chicago sending Artemi Panarin to Columbus.
We're really excited to have him here. Something that is going to fill that need that we're looking for, which is the dynamic goal scorer, dynamic offensive player.
In his first season with the Blue Jackets, Panarin led the team and established new team season records for points with 82 and assists with 55. Panarin led the way in another Jackets first, back-to-back playoff appearances as they faced the Washington Capitals in round one. Panarin's beautiful game-winning goal in overtime of Game 1 helped the Jackets build a 2-0 lead in the series, which they ultimately lost to the eventual Stanley Cup champions in 6 games. Panarin had an even better season, points-wise, the following year, compiling 28 goals and 59 assists for what still stands as a record 87 points. The Blue Jackets pushed all the chips to the center of the table that year and acquired forwards Matt Duchene and Ryan Dzingel at the trade deadline.
Us as a team, we were excited, even before, and then obviously the trade deadline comes and we get Dzingel and we get Duchene. 2 big players, and Zinger was having a phenomenal year, and obviously Matt was as well, but felt like those were going to be 2 really big pieces, and they turned out to be. Some guys may or may not be looking at moving on and heading into free agency and looking elsewhere, so we felt like the time was now if we were going to get something done.
Despite the additions and the desire to get something done, the Jackets were sputtering late in the year. After losing 3 straight games, a team meeting was called before a practice in Vancouver. Everyone was there except Captain Nick Foligno, whose son was in the hospital back in Columbus.
But I get a call from the guys, and they had a team meeting, and they go, "Man, you should have seen it in there." And I was like, "What happened?" And they're like, Bred's yelling at Cam's yelling at everyone, like Torch is yelling at all the Bob somehow gets, like, the whole underlying thing was Bred and Bob had made it known that maybe they weren't gonna come back, right? And I think Torch wanted to just get that out of the way. Listen, we have a chance to be in the moment. Let's get through this. And that was kind of his way of, let's put it all on the table.
I don't know why the hell we're fighting about the dumbest crap right now. When Nick's at home and his kid's in the hospital, that should be our main concern, right? I was like, Brett, I would love to play with you, but if you don't want to play with me right now, that's fine. Like, I could give a flying crap, right? Like, you're our best player. If whatever is gonna make you tick the best way to help this team win, that's all I really care about.
I definitely remember some moments got really heated. I was kind of just going like this, back and forth to guys. But it was needed, and it got us going, and next thing you know, we're having a great playoff run.
After that meeting, we just kind of took off, and we maybe dropped one more game before the playoffs, but it was enough to get in, and we took that momentum with us.
Indeed, the Jackets won 7 of their last 8 games, including 5 in a row, and went into the playoffs as the second wildcard team in the East.
Barely got in, you're an 8 seed, you're going up against a team that had just set a record for wins in the regular season. On paper, this thing is over before it starts.
Forget about skills, forget about X's and O's. It's a mindset of believing. It's amazing what can happen. So you stand in there. There is no one taking a back step here. All right, let's be right now.
Down 3-1 in the third period, David Savard scored a beautiful goal to get the Jackets rally started.
Savard fires, scores! What an effort by David Savard! It's a 1-goal game!
It's a beautiful goal. I still love watching it. He walks around Victor Hedman. Pretty damn good defenseman right there. So it was a turning point for us too. That's what it was like, obviously, and that's what you need in the playoffs is different guys stepping up at different times.
Josh Anderson stepped up next with a shorthanded goal to tie it.
A little more than 90 seconds left. Anderson shorthanded. Fires, scores! Jackets come back with a shorthanded goal of their own. And we are tied at 3.
And Seth Jones's power play goal was the difference as the Jackets sent a message with a Game 1 win.
Down, second effort, could not sweep it out. Boricki, Panarin, cross ice, Seth Jones scores! Power play goal! Jackets lead! What a comeback!
Tampa at the time had the best record in NHL history in the regular season. So no one expected us to be a part of that series except for the guys in the locker room. When we won that game, we knew that we were going to win the series.
The Jackets won the next 2 games in the series as well.
5-1 Columbus. Here's a shot. Bobrovsky through the traffic, reaching out. Artemi Panarin. Panarin with Atkinson. Can shoot, scores into the empty net.
Big goal, big goal. Someone's got to go to Bob tonight.
So when Game 4 arrived, Nationwide Arena was ready for a party.
You know, you could feel the energy in the building of how proud our fans were that, you know, we're coming home with 2 wins and we got a chance here. And that kind of just fed on from Game 3 to Game 4. I don't know if people sat down in their seats.
Oliver Bjorkstrand's goal late in the second period put the Blue Jackets on top to stay.
Panarin, cross ice. Dubois, off his skate, scores. Bjorkstrand.
Three empty net goals in the third kicked off a sweeping celebration. The Blue Jackets had pulled off one of hockey's great upsets and earned the franchise's first series victory in the process.
I was so proud to be able to deliver a series win at home in front of our fan base that was starving for that kind of success. I literally looked in the crowd, there was people crying, you know? I saw ushers crying that had been there from day one, that were witnessing what they had been hoping to see for as long as they had, right?
To beat a good team like Tampa in the first round the way we did, just so proud of these guys. And it's job's not done though. We got to make sure we get ready to go.
Got the sweep, baby. How fun is this for you? Let's go!
Nobody wanted to leave. The foundation of Nationwide Arena, it was quaking. I've been around joy, we all have, but that was a communicative joy, a community full of joy for their team.
I remember that moment that I stopped because, you know, we scored a couple empty netters, I think, if I remember correctly, and the game's over with some time left, and I did stop and take a look and see what that building was doing. It's one of the better buildings to play in anyway, but that was insane. I remember a lot about a lot of games in important times, but I remember that moment when they had a chance to celebrate the way they did.
The electricity, you know, not only in the rink, but in the communities. And when we swept, we all went back to the locker room. I remember grabbing my phone and like my front ring camera was going bing, bing, bing. And it was like, I was still in my full gear. It was like kids that were my old, maybe 5 to 7 years old. Every 5 minutes, go to my door and bring like a broom. We sweep in. It was just like the coolest thing. And they're like, yeah, let's go.
When we completed the sweep, I was standing next to my father and trying to hold back emotion on that because it meant so much. But yeah, that was, you want that feeling for us, for the fan base, but it was a special moment to share with my dad.
The Boston Bruins won a hard-fought 6-game series to end the Jackets' playoff push in 2019. But the Blue Jackets returned to the postseason in the COVID-altered 2020 playoffs. They eliminated Toronto 3-2 in a best-of-5-game qualifying series in the bubble. That set up a rematch with Tampa in the first round. Game 1 of that series was an epic 5-overtime thriller. Blue Jackets goaltender Joonas Korpisalo established a new NHL record with 85 saves, but the Jackets lost 3-2 in the 5th overtime. Despite winning Game 2 to tie it at a game apiece, the Jackets ultimately dropped the series in 5 games to the eventual Stanley Cup champion Lightning. In the summer of 2022, the Blue Jackets signed the biggest free agent on the market.
In a bolt out of the blue, Johnny Hockey is a Blue Jacket.
6-time All-Star Johnny Gaudreau, known as Johnny Hockey, agreed to a 7-year contract with the Blue Jackets, electrifying the fan base.
Starting down and into the zone, here is Gaudreau. Head fake, circles the net, wraparound, scores! What a great individual effort, Johnny Gaudreau!
He scored a goal in his first home game as a Jacket. he was named an NHL All-Star for the 7th time and finished that first year leading the team in points with 74, which included a 5-point game in a late season win over the San Jose Sharks.
Great win, boys. Ready to stick with it, find a way. 5 points tonight, Johnny.
A heartbreaking image as the caskets of 31-year-old Johnny Gaudreau and his brother, 29-year-old Matthew Gaudreau, were both carried into the St. Mary Magdalene Catholic Church.
Sadly, Johnny's life was cut short by tragedy in August of 2024. Johnny and his younger brother Matthew were killed while riding bicycles near their hometown in New Jersey. Blue Jackets fans joined Johnny's teammates in an emotional memorial service outside of Nationwide Arena.
I just want to thank you all for gathering here tonight to grieve this tragic loss of our teammate John Gaudreau and his brother Matty Gaudreau. John was more than just a teammate. He was a friend, father, a husband, a son, and a brother.
Our hearts are shattered in a million pieces, there's no doubt about that. Johnny was an amazing teammate, an amazing friend.
It is a testament to the character of both John and Matthew and the many, many lives they touched. As we leave here tonight, I ask you to continue to keep the Gaudreau families in your prayers.
You know, for myself and the other guys in the room, I'm just, proud of the way we, had to lean on each other and really come together and, help each other through that, which is not easy to do. Johnny's a special player, special person. He's always going to be a part of us. He's always going to be our teammate, and he's right there with us. So, we're just going to continue to honor him the best way we know how.
Our lives on earth have to carry on. There's definitely ways to honor and have him in a conscious of our minds, knowing that he's with us each and every day.
The Gaudreau family added a touching presence at the first ever NHL outdoor game in Ohio.
Both teams arrived and came off the buses today honoring Johnny Gaudreau with their attire.
We're dressing like John today. It's a hoodie he'd wear, sweatpants and boots.
We're just trying to do what we think he would do and enjoy it like he would and play like he would. And man, we miss him, but it's been fun to be able to honor him in this way.
And Meredith Gaudreau, her children, and Jane Gaudreau, John and Matthew's mother, joined Sean Monahan and Eric Goodbranson in leading the team into the stadium.
We knew John was with us at the stadium and with us in the room as we took the ice, so definitely a special moment that, we wanted to get that win. It being in Columbus, at the shoe, in front of our fans, everything that they supported us throughout all of last year as well. We wanted to get that win. It was super special.
More than 94,000 fans packed Ohio Stadium on a chilly night to see the Blue Jackets defeat the Red Wings 5-3 in a game that wasn't decided until Justin Danforth broke a 3-3 tie with less than 3 minutes to play.
You don't really know the feeling till we walked out of that tunnel, and it blew me away, honestly. I thought the temperature was great. It was nice and cold, maybe not for the fans, but for us it really felt, like an outdoor game. And I was just watching the Ohio State game the other day, and it was like, wow, I still can't believe we played out there.
What a performance, eh? What a performance.
I loved playing that game. One of those special games you always think back on throughout your career. It's a special building, it's a special atmosphere, and our fans were incredible that night, so I just tried to enjoy it as a hockey player and as a hockey fan, and just the atmosphere, the build-up, the practice day with the families before. Elvis kind of steals that one for us, but just an incredible couple days at the shoe.
It was the culmination of years of planning and collaboration between the Blue Jackets, the City of Columbus, and the Ohio State University.
It was one of the coolest events that I've ever been a small part of in my life. I mean, to have 90,000 plus fans come to the Horseshoe and see a once-in-a-lifetime event, just one of the coolest things ever.
The foundation for the Stadium Series was built on the Blue Jackets' history of welcoming the hockey world to Central Ohio. In 2007, Columbus hosted the NHL Draft and saw a young man named Patrick Kane be selected #1 overall. Columbus hosted the All-Star Game in 2015 and turned the Arena District into an outdoor park, complete with a sliding hill and an outdoor rink. The Blue Jackets' Nick Foligno served as a captain, and CBJ teammate Ryan Johansson was named the game's MVP. The world's hockey media left town with echoes of the nationwide arena cannon in their ears after the two teams combined for 29 goals. Speaking of the Blue Jackets' cannon, it debuted in the arena in 2008, and it's been fired after each Blue Jackets goal ever since. The cannon is an iconic photo stop for visitors to Nationwide, as it is uniquely Columbus. The cannon is a replica of an 1857 Napoleon field gun, reinforcing the team's homage to Ohio's contributions to the Civil War. It stands watch over the arena from its post above Section 111. Hundreds of miles from where the Blue Jackets game operations team first founded in a warehouse in southern Illinois.
And there was this cannon in the middle of this kind of mechanic shop, surrounded by, broken down cars and tools and just this amazing, craftsman garage. And it looked exactly what you see. And we were just so excited.
The Blue Jackets' impact outside of the arena resonates in so many different ways, driven by the Blue Jackets Foundation, whose grants to area nonprofits and youth hockey programs has now exceeded $16 million.
Well, it's what it means to be a Blue Jacket. It's an expectation. It's an expectation of players, of staff, and quite frankly, I think it's an expectation of a fan. If you call yourself a Blue Jacket, community is part of what we do. Giving back, helping one another. If you look at our logo, it's part of it. It's a really important piece, and I think we're fortunate that the intent that Mr. Mack had when he brought the team is living and breathing and growing every day through that area of the organization.
The Blue Jackets' arrival in Columbus also put a charge into the area's greater hockey community. Paced by the Blue Jackets Foundation and the McConnell Education Foundation, the opportunities for kids and adults to experience and play hockey grows annually throughout the region.
It's changed this city. Youth hockey is exploded in the city. It's not just a football town now, it's a hockey town.
I don't think we could do what we do without their support. I'll put it that way. It's plain and simple. And their involvement from learn to play, learn to skate, A hockey, AA, AAA, high school, it literally covers every level, and you throw an adult league. Columbus is one of the top adult league, from a numbers perspective in the country. So their involvement is immense, and I don't think any of us would be here if it wasn't for their involvement.
Economic support was vital, but the inspiration the team made on young hockey fans stirred ambition in young fans like Jack Roslovic, who began as a Blue Jackets fan and grew into a Blue Jackets player.
Yeah, for sure. I had a 61 jersey. It was the Blue Jackets that really brought me to the game. I loved watching them. I loved, the teams that, went by. Our seats were right behind the visitors' bench, so be able to, see every team that came through up close and personal. It was fun. It was a great experience to get that mixture of playing, watching, and starting to, develop a sense for what it was.
Jackets fans are among the most loyal in the National Hockey League. Nicknamed the Fifth Line during the run-up to the 2014 playoffs, they've filled Nationwide arenas since day one, and the players have noticed.
If you think about Columbus, and yeah, they want to see you score pretty goals, but the way they would celebrate a hard play or your work ethic or your commitment to the city, I think it's just an Ohio thing, right? It's like kind of us against the world, and you learn that quickly. And I think if you embrace that, which we did, they are behind you 100%.
It's special to be part of it. It really makes you feel like you're part of the community when you're here playing for the Blue Jackets, and they're with us. So just incredible fans that we're lucky enough to play in front of.
I think the fans made everything to us. Guys like me and Boone especially. Trying to explain it to everyone just how special it really is. Obviously when you're losing they're still there, but when you're winning how good it really is. And Sellouts every night. Playoffs are incredible. Just the support we have through all the highs and lows. I imagine it's pretty hard to find better fans than here in Columbus.
Yeah, they're an advantage for us for sure. They're amazing hockey fans. I love the fact that they come to the rink and they're the kind of fan base that buys a hat and really has our backs. You can feel that on the ice. We've had some tough times and they were still there.
The home of the fifth line and the Blue Jackets, of course, is also the centerpiece of the ever-expanding Arena District, which is now expanded outside its original footprint. The Arena District underscores the wide-ranging scope of the impact that bringing the NHL to town has had on downtown Columbus.
One of the big benefits of the Arena District and our sports venues is the impact that it has on travel and tourism. And so it has a huge economic impact. The fact that we can win so many NCAA tournaments and bring them to Columbus is a huge benefit, not only from an economic impact, but from an image impact and from a quality of life impact. All those things. So opportunities to see these great events, the jobs that it creates by that activity. And then now we have a much more robust hotel inventory. So more and more visitors can come here. More and more visitors experience Columbus. And when they experience Columbus, they like it and they tell their friends and it helps the city.
25 years of Blue Jackets hockey, 25 years of giving back and growing the game hand in hand with a growing city. Ohio native John Buccigross has been a fan since Game 1. He knows what the Jackets' arrival meant to Columbus and the entire state.
As the city grows up and the Blue Jackets are growing up, they're kind of growing up together. So I think the city sees the Blue Jacket as that child which helped the rest of the country reflect better on them. They are the golden child. That child you have that becomes a success, that your parents are so proud of, that does all the right things. And that's what it is. It's the golden child that the parent of Columbus is now so proud of, and it roots so hard for success.
I talk about it, I brag about it.
Great job by Nick Foligno, dives to the ice.
It'll be home. It's captured my heart, the fan base, the organization, first class, top to bottom.
I still believe that someday the Stanley Cup lives in Columbus, Ohio.
It's wonderful to be able to sit here and celebrate 25 years, but for a lot of us here, this is all about the next 25. This is about where we are in this moment in time and where we're going and why everybody should want to be a part of it.
We're going to continue to grow the sport of hockey here
Jackets, baby!
and make Columbus a true hockey town.